Welcome to the Light of Sirio podcast. My name is Dori Fari and I will speak with a realized spiritual master about his views on life and the topic of spirituality.
Savan kirpal ajaib tera sahara मेरा शरण तुम मेरा प्रेम सावन कृपाल.
So, here we are again with our podcast, and we have a new beginning as we have the first episode of season 6. This is the beginning of something new, but the continuation of something that we already had before with Master Sirio, who is here with me again. Welcome, dear Master.
Hello, Sri Vaheguru.
And thank you for being here with us and making yourself available for this new questions and answers series. And can we begin right away with the first question?
Yes, go ahead. I'm here.
Okay, so we got lots of questions, but I picked one which felt to me like a good beginning to a new season. And this question goes like this, just right into the beginning of things. What is the best mantra to say before meditation? Or, we also could say that to repeat during meditation, or how is it? So right away we split the question into two. So from one it became two. So what is the best mantra to say before meditation? Or should we say a mantra before meditation or during meditation? Please, Master, tell us everything that you can.
So, if the person who is asking the question is a Satsangi, somebody who has been initiated on the path, he should know which is the path. She should know which is the mantra to be repeated before and during meditation. So, usually when we have programs, I use a mantra which is, I understand it to be public. Because this is another something which I added to the Simran which the masters of this path always give, means the mantra that the masters of this path do give. But that which normally masters of this path, like my masters, Master Kirpal Sanji, used to give, it was just 5 words. And that is meant to be secret. So that we don't use in public. But I wanted the mantra to be used in public for everybody. Because Santamat doesn't exist this. Nowhere. You can go anywhere in this big universe of Santamat, and you will not find any place where they have a public mantra. They have these 5 words which are private. They are just for those who are initiated, and they are not meant to be revealed to anybody.
Yeah, then you are also a very generous master, because then you offer a public mantra to repeat, even for those who meditate for the first time during a retreat or something, because then maybe at other places they say that, okay, either you take initiation or you don't get nothing. Or am I wrong?
Yes, something like this. So anyway, when I began doing this work as a teacher, as a master, as you want to call me, or a friend, or whatever, then I thought that there should be a public mantra which I want to sing always before meditation.
But Master, sorry to interrupt you, but maybe there are some listeners who just joined the podcast now, because we talked already before about the mantra, but then so is the mantra so important that without mantra people can't meditate or don't receive experiences? Why is it important to have a mantra?
Mantra is a helping factor in stilling the mind and focusing the attention. So, mantra are words of God, names of God, and repeating them is like attracting the blessing, the grace of God. So, repeating a mantra is like calling on somebody. Since these are names of God, so if you repeat these names, you are calling this God, calling to yourself, attracting His blessing into your life, into your experience. So, that's the purpose of a mantra. Anyway, mantras are charged up by what? They are charged up by the fact that a master or many masters do repeat those mantras during meditation. And they become charged up just by this fact that they are used by so many people, and especially by a lineage of masters for the meditation. So this is what charges them up. And moreover, when a master gives a mantra to somebody at initiation, this mantra is charged up. And I can be a testimony of this, because when I was initiated, my meditation was so much boosted up, so much improved the quality and the effect, that I was just amazed at the effect that it had on me. So if it had on me this kind of an effect, I think it has it on everybody, of course, according to the spiritual possibility of the person, because we are all different. So it can be 100, it can be 90, it can be 50, it can be 20, 10, but everyone, according to his receptivity, gets some help by repeating the mantra in meditation. Right. So anyway, what I wanted to do, it was to have a public mantra that I can sing before meditation, because what I am kind of a singer. So for me, the teachings are mainly given through melodies, much better than speaking. Singing is so much more colorful, effective, contagious than just speaking. And because the singing brings in melody, brings in frequencies, vibrations, and the speaking, it also does the same, but in a much more reduced way. So I wanted to have something to sing. And I wanted to make this Sant Mat Pat the way I like it, not the way other people like it. So it has to be my way.
Sirio Mat.
That's how it is. So I began doing this. So the question is what to repeat before meditation. If you are initiated, what you repeat before meditation, it's also what you repeat during meditation. It has to be Simran. The Simran that the master has given you at initiation. And if you are not initiated, then those words which we sing before meditation is what you have to repeat before meditation and also during meditation. That's the way I see it, and that's the way I intend to convey it to others. So if you like this path and you like what we do, that's what you should do. You should repeat this mantra before meditation and during meditation, the same. But then there are other things also. At the end of meditation, I usually don't sing this mantra, but I sing the names of the master because of the masters. Because why? Because the masters are what? Manifestations of God, and their name to me is name of God also. Moreover, these masters I know, I love. So to me, it's much, I would say, even more precious than Simran, the names of the master. More or less the same. But anyway, I love very much and I like very much to also sing the names of my masters, because these are the name of those beings which have been so effective, which have been so important in my spiritual evolution. So that's also another mantra that we repeat, the names of the masters.
And does it make a difference, that you repeat the public mantra before and during meditation, and then after you repeat the names of the master? Or I mean, why not to repeat the names of the masters before? Does it make a difference?
No, it doesn't make a real difference, but that's the way I'm used to do it. I like it this way. And moreover, during meditation, before meditation, and during meditation, it's good to repeat the Simran. And singing, then it's very good to sing also the names of the master.
And master, is it important to understand the meaning of the words? Because these words, mainly they are in Sanskrit, Punjabi, and then...
Well, it's good to know the meaning. Why it's good, in my understanding? It is good because for me it's also good to repeat it in our own language. So if you are Italian and you know the meaning, you can repeat them also in Italian. I shift it. Sometimes I repeat, most of the time I repeat in the original language, which is some words are Sanskrit, but most of them are Punjabi. And so but sometimes I also repeat them in Italian. Sometimes I repeat them in English. It's the same, but it's good sometimes if one feels doing something in a certain way. It's good to go with what you feel and just be spontaneous. So if you feel to repeat these words in your language, if you know the meaning, then do it. And you can shift from your language to the original language, which is the Indian language, and just be natural and spontaneous.
But does it make a difference? Does it have an influence effect on the meditation process if we know or we don't know the meaning?
It has a contrary effect if when we repeat the words we think about the meaning. We should not think about the meaning. Mm-hmm. We should just repeat the words and try to be focused on the words. If you begin thinking of the meaning, then that means that we are just wandering with our mind again. So we shouldn't think about the meaning. Mm-hmm. And if we like it to have the meaning right away from the words, then repeat them in your language.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I never thought of this aspect of thoughts or thinking about the mantra itself.
No, mantra is to be repeated, is not to be taught. I mean, in the sense that you don't think about the meaning. Because if you begin thinking, then you're thinking, you're not meditating.
Then one has to think about doing Simran.
Yes, the thinking which should happen in meditation should be Simran, repeating the Simran. That's what we should think.
And
those words.
Master, does it make a difference if, like, for example, there is a newcomer who is totally new to spirituality, to meditation practice, to this path, to meet a living master, and comes for meditation, and then there is sang this public mantra, and then maybe this person remembers one word or more words, because you often say when there are new people that it's a good mantra and we can repeat all of them, or at least one or two of them, as many as we succeed easily without forcing, without wrestling too much with our mind. But so then there is a total newcomer, hears these words and, let's say, begins to repeat the words, and but maybe for this person these words have not yet acquired the meaning, in the sense, I mean, that did never experience the power of the Simran, the mantra, and so that because you said that you had direct experience, so you do believe also in the mantra because you know it from your direct first-hand experience. And then for somebody for whom it's totally new, does it make a difference if I do believe in it, or if I am just trying it, or I am neutral regarding the mantra?
Well, anything we do normally, we do it as a, let's say, a training ground. We want to experience something and see if it works. Most of the people do it this way. So, if you want to know the sweetness of a fruit, you have to eat it. So anybody has to, even a newcomer, has to begin repeating the Simran and then see if it works. It means if it is effective, if it helps you in your meditation, in your focusing the attention. Then if this happens, then of course that person will find it beneficial and will use it to have a better quality meditation. I think this is natural and normal. So everything comes by experience. If you experience that something helps you in any degree, then you use it. If it doesn't help you, maybe you don't use it. But I would say, even if at first it doesn't help you, then keep going for a while at least. And maybe by you get into it and it begins to work.
Well, now I got a tricky question. That does it influence the meditation? If I had good experience with the mantra, I had good meditation, and I felt that the mantra was useful, helping me as a good tool in switching of the mind, as you say. So then I begin to believe in this mantra, and my belief, in the sense like my experience, which makes me believe, repeating the words, does it influence my meditation positively, or meditation is like an independent process in the sense that either it happens or doesn't happen, depending on the grace of God?
Experience comes usually as a blessing by the grace of God, the Supreme Being, the universe, call it the way you like. But once we have a first-hand experience and we know that this possibility is there because it has happened to us, then the meditation and repetition of mantra, it's a way by which you can reproduce this experience. So at first you have a blessing. Let's say normally it goes like this: when one comes on a spiritual path, there is an encouragement that comes as a blessing from God. If God wants to keep you on the path, if it is your time to experience something transcendental, then God will give you a blessing by giving you an experience, so that you know that. Sorry, my voice is now like this.
Do you want to look? There is water.
No, it's okay. But you must know that with Master Kirpal, this was continuous. When he was giving satsang, every few minutes he had to do something like this as I've done now, because his voice would get blocked by some catarrh, by some mucus. And anyway, going back to the topic, so it comes at first as a blessing, but then you have to be able to reproduce the experience by doing meditation in the proper way, with the due intensity, with the due ardor, with the due longing, and this is what then provokes the meditation to happen, which is again partly a blessing from God, because just the fact that you have the longing, that you have the yearning, and the attitude to attract the grace, that's also a blessing from God. But anyway, it's your intense call, it's your intense yearning that provokes the experience. So at first it's a blessing, but then if you keep doing it, you will learn and you will know that you can also reproduce that experience by your intense call, by your attitude. So, you begin repeating the Simran, and then by and by you find pleasure in it. You find pleasure in it because it helps you. It helps you to have better quality meditation and to reproduce those beautiful experiences. Inner experiences.
And Master, you said that the mantra, the Simran, is a tool to keep the mind quiet, so we shouldn't think of the meaning of the mantra, we should just think the mantra itself, repeat it continuously. And it's a tool to silence the mind, to switch off the thoughts. And so what does it mean in this regard, that the mantra consists of charged up words, which is charged up by the meditation of the master, and the master's maybe the lineage of the master, which can also mean like hundreds and hundreds of years of intense meditation condensed in those words. So in this sense, what kind of a tool is the mantra in our consciousness?
So the word mantra itself, it's split in two parts, man and tra. So man is mind, and tra is something by which you control the mind, by something by which you protect the mind from evil thoughts, from negative thoughts, from thoughts in general anyway. So mantra is a means by which you control the mind. And so the benefit is there. If you keep repeating the mantra, then you don't think about anything. You don't have any space to think about anything. If you keep your attention well focused in the center, in the middle of what you see in front of your forehead, and you keep repeating the mantra with full attention, then there is no space for the mind. And when there is no space for the mind, then what it is? Then the inner vision opens and the light manifests. So that's the benefit of the mantra. That's the purpose of the mantra. Yes, impeding the mind from wandering. Mm-hmm. And when the mind becomes silent, even for a few minutes, the inner vision opens. This darkness becomes alive somehow, and you begin seeing waves of light coming, waves that usually come as whirling waves of light, or as rolling waves of light, one after the other, which can be the same color or different colors. So that's what happens usually by repeating the mantra, by focusing the attention and trying to go in deep meditation. That's the process. And once you experience this, then you want to have it again, because it's very nice, because it's peace, it's love, it's deep relaxation, it's deep well-being, in a few words. Mm-hmm. In a few words.
Well, something came to me by listening to you, that this question was asked by somebody who is not yet initiated, and I understood also that we have to clarify something here, as you explained very well and described the origin of the mantra, the effect and the power of the mantra. But we have to underline that repeating or saying a mantra, it's not like a rite or a ritual, because it would be like a superstition or like a religious formality, which just came to me now because recently I had to attend a funeral of a person, and they had a Catholic ceremony, and well, it was for long years that I have seen such an event, and yes, I was surprised how it really goes, like spraying with the holy water and then with the incense, spraying, smoking around, or how to say that, to let this smoke of the incense go around all around the coffin. And it really seemed like to me like a ritual, like, okay, it was a Catholic ceremony, but it could have been any kind of ritual of any tribe or whoever. Just like, I was surprised. And so I think, and also that the verse they were said there, like repeated, like, which is always like a repetition of the same things. And I was observing this situation with curiosity also, like examining how much is it sincere, or how much is it just like repeating a ritual like a parrot, just because this is the ceremony and I have to keep these steps of the ceremony and follow these rites and ritual. This process, or how to say. And so in our spirituality, on this path, then the mantra has nothing to do with rites or rituals. It's, as you said, it's a tool. It's something which we use for meditation.
Well, first of all, on the path of the masters, we don't do much of a ritual or ceremonies. This is one of the aspects of Santmat, that we don't have any ceremonies and ritual in particular. Unless you understand as a ceremony, sitting together, singing the mantra, or singing the Shabbats, the bhajans, and then going into deep meditation or listening to Satsang. Some people may understand that this is also kind of a ritual, but it's not a ritual, because a ceremony has a certain set of steps which you have to follow according to their religion tradition. So the Christians have their own way, and also among the Christians there are several different ways, because several sects over there. And in Buddhism also there are several ways in that religion. In all the religions there are different ways of doing these rituals, but they are set format of how to do it, and you have to follow exactly the format, because there is a pope or a head of the religion that says that it has to be done in this way. So everyone has to follow exactly that format. But in Santmat it's not like this. Every master has his own way of doing the things, and he does them according to the way they work with him, and so that's the way he teaches other people to do it, because if it has been effective with him or her, it will be effective with them as well.
Also came into my mind, which was also written in the latest episode of the Sirio magazine, about the spiritual practice of this path, regarding the practice itself, how it is to be performed, from among the letters of Baba Savan Singh. And then he describes very well how to repeat the mantra, and also that when we meditate on the light and when we meditate on the sound. And for example, there is not, when we meditate on the sound, then there is not this mantra repetition. That's his advice, then to focus on the sound.
Well, this is what we tell everybody at initiation, that when you listen to the sound, you don't need to repeat this Simran, because then it becomes an impediment. And for the listening to the sound, you need a complete silence and go deep into the silence until you find the voice of silence, which is the sound current. So in that case, it's better not to repeat the mantra, but Sanji used to say that when you begin also listening to the sound, if your mind is very active, then in the beginning you repeat quick the mantra and try to still the mind, and then you try to listen to the sound.
Well, also we talked about this topic deeper in one of the previous podcast episodes, which is about Surya Shabd Yoga, when we talk about the light and the sound. So then those who are interested more in this and they haven't heard it, they can go back and find that episode, listen to it, or those who don't remember exactly how it was, then you can do the same to listen to it again. And I also was thinking about the constant repetition, because the question said just like, what is the best mantra to say before meditation? Like as if I say a mantra, like a magic word or something, I say something and then I meditate. But in practice, on this path, we meditate on the mantra or with the mantra. If we meditate on the light and focus on the sound current, if we meditate on the sound current. But we also had an episode dedicated to the constant repetition, so that I think it's also important to mention that the mantra, as you said, it's a tool to control the mind, and we not just repeat it before and during meditation or after meditation. We can continuously repeat it, and then it also has an influence on our mind, on our psyche, on our whole life.
Of course, as you think, so you become. So repeating the mantra, what it means, as I said before, is calling somebody. It's repeating the name of this Supreme Being so that you can attract that Supreme Being into your experience. So repeating the Simran constantly during the day, trying to bring it into every our activity. Unless you are making some mathematical accounts, or then it's not possible. But otherwise, when we are doing any manual work, we can repeat the Simran. We can keep, instead of letting the mind run wild into the past and the future, into memories and imaginations or fantasies, then better to repeat the Simran. It's much more productive. It's like, I think about food and recipes, but I don't eat the food, so I'm not nourished. And the same way, it's let the mind run wild into all these fantasies and memories, and nourish yourself with the Simran. So when you repeat the Simran, you are nourishing your spiritual side. You are calling into your life, into your field of experience, the blessing of the Supreme Being, the Supreme Sadguru. So much better to repeat the Simran, because then you will really see that your consciousness will be expanded, will be uplifted, and you will develop levels of perception that otherwise you will never know. That's my experience. With Simran, with constant Simran, with very intense repetition of Simran, I have developed such possibility of spiritual perception, which before doing that, I didn't have.
Well, so it seems like, or feels like, that we have these charged up words of the mantra, and through them we can plug in or tune in with this high spiritual current or charged up spiritual energy, that energy field which was created by the masters.
And I can say another thing. When you go very deep into the repetition of the Simran, you will understand and you will experience that the Simran are not just words, but every word, it's a level of consciousness. It's a condensed energy, which is has its own peculiarity, each one of the words. So difficult to believe this, but if you go very deep into the constant repetition, you will experience it by yourself.
And are these words equivalent, equal to each other, or should we imagine more like the steps of the scales of a step? How is the
of a ladder?
Yeah, a ladder. Yeah, sorry, the scales of a ladder.
Well, it's these words. They represent the energy of any inner spiritual plane. So the first word is connected with the first spiritual plane, let's say the astral plane. The second word is connected with the energy of the second spiritual plane, which is the causal plane. And the third and the fourth and the fifth, so forth and so forth. Mm-hmm. So they are not the same. They have, as I said, they have their own peculiar energy, which corresponds to the planes to which they are related.
Well, about constant repetition and all the blessings you said it can bring to us, I already mentioned once, but I would like to share with everyone who listens to us now that I got a habit which I think it's a very nice practice. It's a very easy spiritual practice, but also to stay in tune, to stay in the good vibe on the spiritual side of life. That, as I mentioned often, we have another podcast which is called Daily Guidance Meditation Podcast, where daily another episode is published, which is Guiding into Meditation by Master Sirio. There also is sang this mantra, and sometimes when I just do things and I don't need great attention, I just start it. And then it so beautifully charges up the space around me. That's how I feel, that there is always the mantra, then the sound, the voice of the master saying the words. And it's very interesting that how one does it more, this practice, how it's incredible that in certain moments the attention just jumps to something which was said in the podcast in that moment, in that episode, and it's like a message, so that like it goes in the background and you listen to it, you hear it, but not listen with your full attention, but you have it surrounding, wrapping you. And then in certain moments your attention becomes sharp on something which is like a message from the master, like the master would come to you and then, okay, here is your message, so this is what I say to you now. And maybe you listen to 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes, and then 3 sentences do stand out, and then later on you notice that, wow, they have a real meaning for you in that, on that day or in that moment, or they reply your questions which you had in mind, or they help you solving issues of your life and situations. So I think it's a very nice practice which I can only recommend to everybody who is maybe doesn't succeed to do the constant repetition of the Simran, or we can't be always able, maybe because maybe we have some periods when we can and maybe some other periods when we can't. And then I think it's always good to stay in this vibe, as I said.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, this can be done in several ways. You can open a book and read a sentence from the book, from the page which you open, and that sentence may be a message for you. In the past, it was very much used, this practice, but nowadays there are so many other tools, by the way, like this podcast and the Satsang which you can see online, and the meditation podcast. So, I mean, practitioners nowadays, they have so many more helping factors in their spiritual practice if they use them. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you very much, dear Master, to share so much wisdom which came out from just this one small question. So thanks for sharing your insights on it and your wisdom with us. And so since we talked so much about the mantras in general, and you also mentioned the mantra of the names of the Master, now we have a new series, so we have a new mantra for these 8 episodes, and now we can enjoy a mantra sang by Master Sirio, which are the names of the masters. And as always, next episode of this Light of Sirio podcast comes after 2 weeks. And since we have now the questions and answers series, anybody is welcome to send me a question to the siriopodcast@gmail.com. And though we already have questions, but it's very good if you send it, because I will try to match all of them inside, or maybe in the series later on they will be for sure replied. And then, as I mentioned, we have the Daily Guidance Meditation podcast, and above we have the Sirius magazine, which you can download freely in PDF from the SirioSatsang.com, this website where you can also find more information about any programs with Master Sirio, or lots of videos published when he gives his teachings in the form of satsang or meditation talks, public meetings. So there is a lot to go through. So anybody can find some precious pearls and diamonds there if you visit that website. As I said, SirioSatsang.com. And then, thank you, dear Master, for being here with me.
You're welcome.
And now, enjoy the mantra. God bless you all.
Savan Kirpal Ajaib Tera Sahara Mera sharan Tu mera prema Savan Kirpal Ajaib Tera Sahara Mera sharan Tu mera prema Savan Kirpal Ajaib Tera Sahara Mera sharan Tu mera prema Savan Kirpal Ajaib Tera Sahara Mera sharan Tu mera prema Savan Kirpal Ajaib Tera सहारा, तेरा सहारा, मेरा शरण, मेरा शरण, तुम मेरा प्रेम आए। सावन कृपाल आ जाई, तेरा सहारा, तेरा सहारा, मेरा शरण, मेरा शरण, तुम मेरा प्रेम आए। सावन कृपाल आ जाई, तेरा सहारा, तेरा सहारा, मेरा शरण, मेरा शरण, तुम मेरा प्रेम आए। तुम मेरा प्रेम आए, तुम मेरा प्रेम है।